everybody and welcome to my video, Getting Tidier. I hope you're all well and you've had a good day today. So my video is a bit of a mix today, so trying to sort out some items that are Halloween to get rid of. Trying to sort back the Christmas cupboard because now everything I took out of it I can't seem to get back in. Maintaining the kitchen. You'll see me sort out some washing and some piles of washing to put away. And then I do a little bit on the lounge and the kitchen. So quite busy in this video. Before I go any further, I just wanted to say a massive thank you for those of you that have just recently subscribed to my channel. Thank you very much. When I get to 3,000 subscribers, I am going to be doing a giveaway. And also for the month of November, anything that I raise from my channel, and I do make a little bit of money from my channel. Anything I make from my channel, I'm going to be donating to a charity called Soul Foundation, which help people in need, in crisis, in financial hardship. So any videos that you watch, liking, commenting, all very, very much appreciated, because any money that I make will be given to that charity. Now, you'll see me at the moment on the video going through the Halloween decorations. I feel like I'm a little bit later than normal getting the Halloween decorations out. We don't have loads, but we do have some. Some of the things are just things that have been collected over the years. Some things are things that I had at work and then we were allowed to take home and keep. It's a bit of a mix, but there's just some things that we just don't need to keep anymore. So there's a funny little doll that my daughter got from a tombola type sale thing in Italy. A creepy little doll. Wasn't actually for Halloween, but because it was creepy, we just put it in the Halloween bag. And she said she didn't want that anymore. There's a few different masks, a few general sort of autumnal decorations that, I probably should have had out much earlier. But we did a bit of a sort through upstairs in the loft bedroom and got a few things ready to be able to give to the charity shop. A bit late again giving them to the charity shop as well, to be honest. But then everything else I then put back in the bag and we brought downstairs to decorate the house. We do put quite a few bits and pieces around the house, but as I said before, Halloween's not big for us. We mark bonfire night, so we'll have family come round on Friday. We'll have a bonfire and we'll have fireworks. Although again, I feel a little bit late in organising all of this, but I tell myself that I can still fit it all in. It's just usually I think about and plan things for a couple of weeks beforehand. It's like yesterday when we went to the charity shop to ask for some old clothes, clothes that they've got in the rag pile, they can give me for Guy, and they said come back tomorrow, and I thought, oh, it's getting very, very close. I feel like I've got to do quite a lot in the house for people coming round. There's quite a lot to sort out and clear up. A couple of rooms obviously have maintained and are reasonably tidy because of all the work that I've been doing, but a couple of the other rooms really are not. So yeah, I've got quite a lot to fit in really. Tomorrow morning I'll do some bits in the house, and then in the afternoon that we're going to go out, and then on Friday my husband will be doing a shorter day, so he'll be able to help out as well, so that'll make a big difference. I feel like even though it's like family members coming around, I still want the house to be tidy and clean. It doesn't matter who it is, I just don't want it to be untidy. And particularly given, I feel like I've done so much work in the house, and yet still, honestly, if somebody knocked on the door, like a family member or a friend, and I wasn't expecting them, I would still not feel like I could open up my door and have them come in. Whereas other people I know, like my mum, my mother-in-law, any day, without any sort of warning, they could have someone knock on the door and open up their house to them, and their house would be completely tidy and completely sorted, whereas me, I'd be cringing. It's quite good in the hall, where I don't have a pile of things that need to go all different places, but I have still got the puppet theatre, because I'm still trying to sell that. But I just think I'm better to get it close to the door as possible, ready to go, but maybe I'm being a bit presumptuous, thinking it because it's not actually been sold yet. But there you can see that creepy little doll that is going to the charity shop. And then there were a few little containers for sweets, and my daughter wanted to keep her cat one. She didn't want the other one. And I said before, didn't I, about how we don't really do trick-or-treating. But when it was COVID, people put the pumpkins at the end of their drives and put lollipops in the tops of them. And she enjoyed going round, and it has become more popular. But this year she said to me, you know, Mummy, how I don't really like sweets? Well, I just like to stay in. And she's got these little decorations that I bought a few years ago online. And they actually arrived after Halloween. They took so long in coming. But she asked if she could decorate them. So she's got them out of the pack. And they're little witches, wooden witches. And she's been colouring them in. And she's put them on little threads. And then she's going to attach a lollipop to them. And she's going to put them on a plate. And then when children knock on our door, she's going to offer them. And I'm going to be dressed up all in black behind the tree. And I've got a black mask completely covering my face. You can't see my face at all. And I'm going to come out from behind the tree. And we're going to see if we can make anyone jump. She's also got that werewolf mask that was on the bed. So she might wear that. We saw a mask today in Great Yarmouth which looked like a creepy doll mask. But it was $9.99. I thought, you've got to be joking. I'm not spending $9.99 on a mask. So you can see I've got quite a lot of stuff in the bedroom. You saw that I've got all those bags to sort out. I am really trying to be ruthless with some of the clothes that I've kept. And where the clothes, I just don't recognise them. I do have to just check with my husband and check with my daughter, but I have been getting rid of them. And you can see in the kitchen, I did all my apple, didn't I, in my last video? And you can see I'm putting it all in my tubs. Now, can you believe all those apples that I peeled, because of how everything reduces down, it was only 2 pots. That means there's only 2 crumbles. So I messaged my next door neighbour and said, I'm on the scrounge. I've been round the back of our gardens and I've picked up all the apples from the floor. Have you got any more apples, please, that I can use, that I can have for my daughter's crumble? And she said, oh yeah, absolutely, come round any time. So I couldn't go round today because by the time I got back from Great Yarmouth it was dark. But I'm going to go around tomorrow, hopefully in the morning, and get a load more. I really sort of thought if I can get 6 containers, because that's still only 6 crumbles. So yeah, I need more than that. I find that because my husband, I've never done the crumble top. My husband does that. But my daughter prefers the fruit when I've done it. And that's because, like with the apple, I get it so it completely reduces down. She doesn't want any lumps in the apple. Bear in mind, she is a child that does not like apples at all. She will eat apple in a crumble. So I don't want to put her off by there being big lumps of relative sort of half sort of semi-hard apple in it. She also doesn't like, I add a berry mix that I keep in the freezer. And she doesn't like it when there's like still big lumps of strawberries. So I sort of make sure that's all completely reduced down, and then she likes that. So although that does have some sugar in, obviously the fruit's got natural sugar, and then my husband adds a little bit of sugar to the top. I still think that's better for her and fills her up more than some of the cereals like Cocoa Pops and things like that, which are laden with sugar. That's another, she does sometimes have Cocoa Pops with no milk, because as you know, she can't have dairy. So that's one breakfast. So she also likes hash browns and baked beans. So she enjoys that sort of breakfast as well. So you can see this morning, I didn't do any washing up after last night. And then we've got the pan there from my husband did pancakes this morning for us. So there's a few things just to tidy up there. And I've got the slow cooker out, and that's for today's dinner. So I put that on. When we came back, that was ready to go. We just had to put the pasta on. That was ready to go. Something that I meant to mention when I was going to the Halloween decorations, well, a couple of things actually, when I go through the clothes as well as the Halloween decorations. but my daughter's got a witch which I bought from Venice, and I think I might have talked about this last year. Imagine my excitement. This is before I'd had my daughter, and me and my husband were just walking along in the streets of Venice, and I see two little boys that have laid a big cloth out, and they've got all these different things out on the cloth for sale. So I go along and have a little look, because I think, oh, you know, there might be something there that I'd like, and I admire when I see children showing entrepreneurial skills. So I went over, and I could hardly contain my excitement when I saw, I don't know if anyone on the channel has been to Venice, but they do lots of like masks for the Venetian festival, and yeah, they make some incredible things. And there on the cloth was this witch. Well, I've always had taken an interest in witches. I don't know what it is. There's something fascinating about them. As you all know, I am Christian, but I just find the witches very, very interesting. And yeah, there's this witch on a cloth. So I tried not to show that I was too interested. And I said to the little boy, quanto costa? And he said, due. And I tried to think, surely he doesn't mean €2. Anyway, cut a long story short, he did mean €2. I could hardly contain my excitement. I paid him €2 and off I went. They looked shocked, like, why does this English woman want this witch? But this witch has come out every single year at Halloween. Sits in my lounge or in my daughter's bedroom, and it's become a bit of a tradition. And obviously my daughter's getting older with this sort of thing, so she's less likely to think the witch flies around. But you might have caught on the video is a poem that I wrote, and I'm going to read you that poem. And it's from Witchy the Venetian witch. I've spent the year in Abruzzo, Rotterdam and Rome, flown over lakes and villages, though I've often thought of home. I wondered what you're up to and if you're being good. I wondered if you saw me when you walked into that wood. But now I'm back to see you. Samhain is nearly here. Please let me stay for longer at this darker time of year. And in the bottom of that bag with all the Halloween stuff, we found that little poem. So that was quite nice. And also my daughter's yellow coat. I went to the pockets, and there in the pockets I found a little piece of paper that said mia figlia. That means my daughter. And then in Italian I'd put, don't forget your tomatoes. And it was a little note from me. And there was a little rock in the pocket, which just sounds exactly like me, actually, putting stones in my pocket. And in the other pocket, she's got a little Lego Harry Potter figure and an owl and a little stand, which I would not have allowed her to take to school. So obviously she'd taken that into school at some point when she wore this little yellow jacket, little yellow coat. It was a little duffel coat. She wore it for years. So I was quite pleased to see that and quite touched by that. So while I'm now trying to tidy up the kitchen, I'm going to go through some of your comments. Now, thank you very, very much for those of you that take the time to add comments to my videos. I very much appreciate it. Now, we've got quite a few new people that have recently joined us. So please do let us know where you're from. I love knowing where you're from. So if you don't normally comment on videos, even if you say, hi, I'm Julie from England, Colchester, England, or from Texas, or from Canada, or from Italy, or from France. It's really lovely to know where you're all from. So before I start going through my comments, I've got my top tip for as we move towards Christmas and cold weather, those of you that are in the same hemisphere as me. So my top tip for today is to go to where you've got any gloves, hats and scarves, and part with one and give it to the charity shop. Now, I know some of you are going to find that hard because some of you have already told me that you only have one hat, one pair of gloves and one scarf. So you can already tick that. You've already done it. So give yourself a big tick. But for those of you that have got a big bag like I have, I'd like you to see if you can get rid of one thing, something, and then let me know what you've got rid of. So that is my top tip today. The other thing I wanted to share with you is from the 1st of November, I am going to be starting my new challenge related to fitness. Not only am I being very, very careful about what I eat, I'm also going to do 10,000 steps a day, and I'm going to do an additional type of exercise. So that might be that I do 10,000 steps a day, and one day in the week I go for an extra walk, or I go swimming that week, or I play badminton that week. It's probably going to get a bit samey, and that might be an extra walk. That might be I go for a jog around the block. I'm not a runner, but that might be that I force myself to do that. And I'm going to do that all for the month of November. I think I've said before, I've always been about a size 12, and then at certain times of the month I like to have things a little bit looser, if you know what I mean. And so I've got one pair of size 14s. Well, it's got now so that I'm needing to wear my size 14 jeggings all the time because the size 12s are so tight. And I think it's largely down to eating the same and doing less exercise. So I was doing 40 minutes a day walking, and I used to walk fast to and from school, so I've stopped doing that. And you sort of think, well, where has that time gone instead? Probably sitting in this car on my school run, so I'm just sitting. So that's what I'm going to do for the month of November. If you want to join in with the challenge, you can choose something which works for yourself. So that might be that you decide to do a 10-minute walk every week in the month of November. That might be, if you're very fit, that might be that you join in with my 10,000 steps a day. But set something for yourself which is achievable, not completely unrealistic. And what I've learned from when I did the steps challenge last time is you've got to get your steps in early, because too many times I got to like 8 o'clock and I needed to find another 6,000 steps. Well, it's no fun going on a walk in the dark by myself, particularly now the cold weather and dark nights have arrived. Okay, so I'm going to go through some of your comments. So first up is Zoe. Zoe says, great idea regarding Christmas decorations. Another idea, and I'm not going to read that out because Zoe, that is going to be my 5th idea. Zoe says, Emma, the piano is beautiful. Being brought up in a musical family, we always had a piano. I can remember as a little girl, a blind man would come with his dog on the bus to tune the piano. Fond memories. Gosh, what you've achieved this year regarding the decluttering is amazing. Well done. Sending love to you all. And I sent a comment back saying, super idea. I'll include that in my list of suggestions. And thank you for your ongoing positivity. Cynthia Miller says, as always, I love seeing you going about the different areas of your home, decluttering and straightening up. How wonderful of you to take your daughter to see the historical sites, and I love seeing them too. And Cynthia sent me a little heart, an autumn leaf and a pumpkin. Right, the next comment is from Joanne. And Joanne says, good day, Emma. Your kitchen is a thing of beauty. Bravo! Great advice you gave about Christmas. I went into the attic, removed 6 tubs of Christmas decor and donated the contents of 5. I took all to the church thrift shop. Felt fabulous. I took pictures of what I gave away because in the future I will forget what I've donated and I'll be looking for things for hours. Oh dear. So funny. I may feel some regret when I realise things are donated, but I'll know that someone will be enjoying the ornaments and that will make me very happy. Yeah, they will be enjoying the ornaments and that will make a big difference to a number of people there. That's very generous of you, Joanne. And I'm very impressed that you got rid of so much. 5 tubs out of 6. That is quite incredible. I wouldn't recommend that you get rid of too much too soon. Joanne, you said about feeling that you might feel some regret. You don't want to be getting rid of too many things and then feeling sad about it. But, like you said, you know someone's going to be enjoying the ornaments. Good job. Our Paper Playground says, love seeing your outing pictures at the end of your videos. Blessings from Texas. Rebecca says, another fantastic vlog, Emma. I do find your vlogs so calming. And I messaged back to say that I'm really pleased about that. It's always nice when people say they find my voice calming. I've always been conscious of the fact that certainly within work, that my voice can sound quite abrupt. And I think that when I used to work for the financial services, people were a little bit wary of me if they hadn't had me as a manager before. And then when I became their manager, like if they moved into my team, they'd always say, oh, like, because my face can be quite serious when I'm not smiling, and then my voice can be quite short. And then they'd realise that actually, you know, I would stand up for my team, I'd fight for my team, I'd push forward to make sure that my team got, you know, decent bonuses and pay rises, etc., etc. But I can remember years ago listening to a video where I was speaking to my daughter and I could hear my voice sounding quite short. And I was saying something like, oh, well done, you're such a good girl. But because of how I speak, that sounds quite short and abrupt, which I don't mean it to be. So it is nice that people are saying that they find my videos or my voice calming. Barbara Palmore says, I think you should hang your little ukulele on the wall by the piano. It is beautiful. Your house looks so different now than when I first watched. Very encouraging to all of us that watch. Thank you very, very much, Barbara Palmore. And I did reply. Now, the thing with that instrument, that is on the list of many hundreds of items of things that I need to do. And that's probably somewhere down the list. That's probably on about number 60. And that needs to be restrung. And I wouldn't want to have a go at playing that. Or even when it's restrung, I might hang it on the wall. Now, I'm hoping that I'm going to go on YouTube and have a look at stringing it. And I'm hoping it's not going to be too dissimilar to violin strings. So I can put strings on violins, so let's hope that I can also put strings on that. Lizzie says, well done, Emma, from Lizzie in Wales. Carolyn says, I mentioned your channel on Midwest Magic Cleaning. Thank you, Carolyn, very, very much. Because if you do, people comment, you know, mention my channel on other pages, that might mean that I get some people come and have a look at my channel from theirs. Now, I wasn't really familiar with the channel, Carolyn, so I went and had a look on the channel myself, and then I found a video about OCD and cleaning and hoarding. Very, very interesting, and I completely agree with him. I've said before on my channel how people think about OCD is when people are like got really, really clean, really, really tidy houses, and they use it as a bit of a throwaway comment, oh, like, yeah, I've got OCD, just because their house is tidy. And actually, people can have OCD tendencies and thoughts that control what they do in their homes. For example, if I get rid of this item, something bad will happen. That is actually a form of OCD. And I also think I do have hoarding tendencies. I thought he was very, very open and honest to talk about his own thought processes and how he's beat obsessive compulsive thoughts. I thought that was really interesting. So thanks for that, Carolyn. Firstly, that you mentioned my channel on Midwest Magic Cleaning, but then also, because of your post, I went and had a little look about that and then watched his video on that. So that was really good. Linda says that when I visited London in 2012, I was on my own. London Tower was my favourite site. I love all the history. I did visit Kew Gardens twice and treated myself to high tea at the Savoy. Wow, I bet that was good. I'm having to be really careful that I don't read any of the same comments, because I've got a little system that what I do is I like the comment and then I heart it. And if I've hearted it, that means that I've said about it. Only my system doesn't work properly because then I forget to heart the message. And then I'm at risk of reading them again. And there's so many like incredible, lovely messages which are very interesting. It's quite easy for me to read them through again. And I read the message and I think, do I remember it from commenting? Or do I remember it because I've read it out before? I'm sure I'll get a better system in time. Rainy Milliman says we did yard work this weekend. My husband used the leaf blower and rake and cleaned up the backyard. Then he used the mower to bag up the leaves from the front yard. We have 11 huge bags so far, and we really don't have that many trees in our yard, but they seem to blow in from everywhere else. I spent my time cutting back all of the hosta plants, and we have quite a few. I cut them back every fall. Regarding donating something decluttered from Christmas things, well, you know I decluttered a lot of things this summer into early fall, and the Epilepsy Foundation does not take holiday items until the month of, and we're also only allowing like one box of books, so that changed my plans a bit. But our thrift store does take holiday items all year round and any and all books, so I was able to get things donated to 2 places. There were several really nice Christmas items donated from us and also from my dad's things that were in our attic. I remember when I started out and had very little money to spend on decorations. It's probably even harder nowadays as everything is marked so high. And I commented back and said, I can't believe that, how busy they were with these 11 bags of leaves, bigger bags. Goodness me. And I put anything I think to clear stuff out and help others at the same time, it's got to be a good thing. I'm afraid what I do with the leaves is I look the other way. So we've got 3 big ash trees, and we get the ash trees don't just, they don't just have leaves fall, they have branches. And the next door neighbour that hated my trees, the next door neighbour that's now left, they hated all trees with an absolute passion, and they really, really went on about the trees when I first moved in, and they said, oh, they'll need to be cut, they'll need to be this, they need to be that. I maintain them, but I don't want to move into a house and cut all the trees down, which is what a lot of people seem to do. So we end up with a lot of leaves in our garden, and they get left and left and left and left. And eventually half of them seem to just go into the grass. And then I do one big rake round and get as many of them in as possible. I think I've mentioned to you before about my neighbours that moved away. They cut down every single tree in their garden. Every single tree. And to stumps. And they cut them back so harshly that then they never ever sprouted again. So they just ended up with like trunks that were about 5 foot or 6 foot tall. And then they turned them into like bird feeding stations. But they don't want any wood pigeons. They don't like wood pigeons. So then they put plastic bags everywhere in the garden and helium balloons everywhere in the garden in order to stop wood pigeons from coming in their garden. But as I said, she's moved away now, but she did make contact with my mum and said that she'd moved somewhere that was very, very quiet and there wasn't much to do. I wonder whether she'll end up regretting moving, because she's probably late 70s, early 80s, and she's gone to somewhere where there's no shops, no bus route, so you can potentially feel quite alone, I think. She's gone from somewhere which has got, shops, a bus stop nearby, and it's a big change, but hopefully she'll get on okay. So I'm now coming towards the end of my video, and what I just wanted to share with you is a couple of clips right at the end So you're going to see my sister's gorgeous rabbit, and then a little tea room that we went to in Gorleston. Now I told you that I had a solicitor's appointment, didn't I? Well, we ended up going to, sadly, to the wrong office. So you'll see a little bit where we went to the Spook Express and went round on the snails, and a couple of other bits right at the end, which I hope you'll enjoy. So thank you very much for your ongoing support, your comments, your likes, your ideas, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye! Oh, look.
Wow. Look at those different ones of them.
Nice, aren't they? Oh, it's a bit of a danger coming somewhere like this though, because I'll see something that I want to buy. Oh, look at those lovely pots.
Look at those cushions. Look how much it costs to get all these pumpkins.
I've got the card, but I didn't know I was going to see you. So if I write it quickly,
Just